The world is no longer a global village, it is a neighborhood. Generations come and go, but the gist they start lingers. The platform that sustains those gists is here. Be a part of the conversation on Generations Gist with Joy, from policymakers to politicians, medical personnel to traders, labor leaders to students, the young and the old. It's Generations Gist with Joy on this channel every Saturday at 9 a.m. with a repeat broadcast on Sunday at 9 a.m.
It's your generation, it's my generation, it's our generation.
Come, let's tag along on Generations Gist with Joy. Please join us.
Hello viewers, welcome to Generations Gist with Joy. This show is here to showcase how generational transition and individual experiences and relationships have impacted and shaped contemporary human behavior and national development and advancements. Today's discussion promises to be educating and inspiring. Just stay relaxed and enjoy it. I am your host, Joy Onu. But before we continue, we want to go on a very short break. Please stay tuned. You're welcome back. Today we are going to be discussing startup and small-scale businesses in Nigeria, youth involvement. The contribution of entrepreneurship through startup and small-scale businesses as a means of employment generation and poverty alleviation in Nigeria of today cannot be overemphasized. A startup business is generally defined as a short-term arrangement or system of organization designed to search for identity and adopt a reputable, scalable business model. In other words, the startup business is basically a newly established business, while the small-scale business is defined as a privately owned business with minimum capital requirements. According to the Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Development of Nigeria, SMEDAN, the micro and small-scale enterprises are defined as having up to 10 and 49 employees with an asset base of less than 5 million naira and 5 to 50 million naira respectively. With me in the studio to discuss this very, very important topic is a journalist of repute who has worked in both print and radio station. She was at a point the station manager of a radio station, a counselor and a corporate organizer. She has experiences in startup businesses and has gone in training within and outside the country. She is the CEO of 1278 Essentials, a business she entirely has run consistently for more than a decade. She is currently the head of administration of International Press Institute, IPI, and she is Linda Boom. Linda, you're welcome on the show.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have me.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
So sorry about all the traffic on the road today and your missing of the way to this place.
Yeah, it's all right. Thank you.
And in your own definition, what exactly is a startup business and the small scale business in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. People use that word interchangeably. startup, small scale businesses, it's actually different. A startup is usually innovation based, is more of tech companies. Either one person or a group of people come together to form a tech-based company to provide solutions and then build a brand that will be scalable. So for instance, if a group of people come together or one person decides to develop an app that makes online shopping easier, that's innovative. Or you come out with a payment solution that is innovative, you can call that a startup. Mostly they seek funding to do that. But for a small scale business, it's either a one-man business or 2-3 people, or a kind of family business like a local bakery. We just set up a small bakery to just turn over our monies. So there's no proper structure per se, and there's no intention to scale.
Okay, you just maybe define them right now deeply. Can you give us the typical difference between the startup and the small scale businesses? And why does that difference really actually matter?
Okay, first of all, I'll start with why the difference matters. The difference matters because, for instance, if you're a startup, you're looking to get either an individual or a group of individuals or a corporate organization to sponsor your idea. It is just an idea, okay? It depends on what stage that the idea is. So you're looking for people to sponsor it. You must structure the business on paper, or if it is a product you already developed, you must structure it in a way that it is sellable because of funding. Right? And then if you're structuring it that way, whoever is giving you money is looking at you. How are you going to pay back that money? So is this scalable? If for instance, you and I decide that we want to create an app that helps us not go to the market, and we want to buy things by just sitting down here, making your shopping easier, pay from here, somebody will bring it to you. Maybe we will create a robot, for instance, who will also move the things from there and bring it to us. This is our idea. We cannot carry out that idea by ourselves, so we will test the idea, right? We'll put it down on paper, seek funding. That's a startup. Seek funding at whatever stage that we're at. There are very different funding partners who are interested in funding ideas at different stages. So you seek funding and be able to prove to them that this idea is scalable. 10 years, 15 years from now, it will still be relevant. 10 years, 15 years from now, it will still be serving people. It will still create solutions. So that's a startup. But if you and I decide that you have 50,000 and I have 50,000 naira, and we want to start a puff business, or we want to start a bakery with a little more money than that, we're going to be running on lean income, on lean capital. Okay, we're not looking for investments yet. We're going to employ some of our relatives to come and be some serve as staff in the business to help it to run. We're just turning over money. So it's a small scale business. Maybe we employ marketers. In all, just like what you said about Smedan, in all we won't be up to 500 people. We're not even looking to employ too many people. That's why we're getting our family members to join. So that's a small scale business. That's the difference.
Okay, now can a small scale business owner transform into the startup level? I don't know, I'm not business based, the startup level. Can a small scale business owner like transform or grow to that level of business?
Okay, so there are two things. A small business owner can either create an idea from what they are already existing idea.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say we're making that same bakery now, but then we now decide that we want to make specialized bread to sell worldwide. You can see how big that has become. Let's say we want to make banana bread that we can even export to different countries. How are we going to do that? And how will people from that place order this banana bread? What makes this banana bread so special enough to export it? This is just a hypothesis. So, and then we say that we have an app we want to create, or an app, for instance, where people from outside Nigeria can come and purchase that bread even from here, and then we work out logistics on how to get the bread across to them. Just an example still. At this point, we have gone past our little bakery and we're thinking big. We're thinking of how to expand. What will make that bread sell worldwide? Bread is bread. Even here in Nigeria, there are so many bakeries, or even Abuja, there are so many bakeries already. So whatever idea it is we're trying to bring up to be able to sell banana bread worldwide has to be something that is innovative, has to be something that, not that it has never been done before, but something that can actually provide a solution to people. Okay, so that's how they can do that. And then another way is that you must not you can also structure your own business to be scalable. So let's say I sell coconut oil.
Okay.
Right? I sell coconut oil for hair and for body and maybe for cooking. And how do I make this? I still go and pluck the raw coconut to transform it into coconut oil. Now I use coconut because there are so many resources. Almost everything in a coconut is useful. So I can change my business to become the coconut company, which means I can use the chaff, create something with it, use the oil, use the water, sell coconut water, sell coconut flour, sell coconut flakes, sell coconut cream, sell, squeeze it out as milk, and so on and so forth. I'm building that product in a way that it can be scalable. I'm building the product and preparing it to be export ready.
Okay.
Yes. So that's another way that I hope the examples are okay.
Yeah, very okay.
Yes,
then startup and small scale businesses have been characterized as the main carrier of development and the engine of socio-economic growth all over the world, especially in Nigeria. We are trying to get there, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, with all you have said, do we have enough people in business in Nigeria? We have enough people in business to be able to attract international markets and be able to help in nation building?
I am a firm believer of entrepreneurship, driving the economy, because I have seen it as being so. Yes, we do have. In the few years that I've been an entrepreneur full-time, I've seen quite a number of Nigerians, small business owners, startups alike, who have brought up ideas, who have, Nigerians are very resilient. Yeah. So when the times get tough, you see people coming up with lots of ideas. If you ask me, between 2020, during the COVID year, and now, entrepreneurs, this is not based on statistics. Entrepreneurs have multiplied. Everybody's looking for a way to get either an extra source of income, or how to just add more to what they're doing. Even those who have full-time jobs have become intrapreneurs. That is, those who work and then still run businesses. So yes, we have a number, but I don't want to put a cap to the number of people that we have, or the growth of entrepreneurship in Nigeria. I want to say that there can be more. Why? Because we're over, I don't know if we're over 200 million Nigerians,
yeah.
you know, and then I do not know the percentage of how many are entrepreneurs, but we can do with more, because there are so many things that entrepreneurs can stand in the gap for.
Okay, you know, like right now everybody is into business.
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone is into business. It's either they are selling makeup, they are selling gari, graduates are doing a lot, you know, selling businesses. In fact, transportation, everything. I'm seeing a lot. You see one person doing more than 10 businesses, you know. And from your own experience,
yes, ma'am,
that kind of multitasking in business, is it profitable?
Okay, good question. I always tell people, I help other small businesses start up. I advise, I guide. So from my little experience, what I say to them is, always ask yourself why. Why are you doing it? It will help you not to do what you're talking about, multitasking. So if you say, why do I want to set up this business? I want to set it up because I need to save some small money to take my baby to a certain school. You know, you are targeted at that. I want to set up a small business I just want to turn over some money. Or, oh, I saw these cute things and I think the people in my church can buy. I do not consider those people business owners. I'm sorry. So I look out for people who really want to offer a solution. I'm setting up this bakery. You and I are setting up this bakery because in the whole of Katankwe extension, there's no bread.
Yeah.
We go down to town. We pay a lot on transportation. That's a goal. We're trying to solve a need, right? And then we look around and say, okay, this bread is selling. When they buy bread, they need eggs. When they buy bread, they need milk.
Yeah.
We can decide to set up a store. That is how that multitasking thing comes about. It is derived from a need. Okay, it is derived. It should come from a place of need, and solving a solution rather than just touching here and touching there, just because that's trial and error.
What are the tips for starting good business in Nigeria? At least the small scale, medium scale businesses, maybe even micro.
Correct. So first of all, you look at the need again. What is the need? What are you trying to solve? What solution are you providing to the people? That's what will drive the market. So not because, oh, my husband is very rich and he wants to set up. I need to set up a business to measure up with my fellow husbands, wives, friends or something. And then you just guess, should it be a salon? Should it be, no ma, you know, what's the need? So the need is, in this area, we don't have a beautiful spa, a nice, cozy, calm place where people can go and relax. And then we have the market, which is upwardly mobile, working class people who are looking to relax at the weekend or pamper themselves, or they don't want to go to crowded salons. That's a need, and then that's a market. Then you are coming with the solution, a hair salon and a spa in that location. It might not do well in another location, but in that particular location, that's your market. Okay, so if someone wants to start a business, you first of all ask what's the need, identify the need, then prefer the solution, identify the customers, because sometimes you've seen the need and then you have the solution, but the customers might not be readily available.
Exactly.
And then sometimes the customers are not ready for your solution.
But why?
For instance, so when we started our business in 2015, I heard a lot of people say to me, no, I don't want to put my card on your website. I don't want my money missing. You know, we all have trust issues.
Yeah.
We were born with it as Nigerians. So I don't want to put my card. How do I pay? I'll pay on delivery. I'll do this. I'll do that. And then others say until you bring somebody once told me we'll have to bring the wristwatch he will taste it.
Is that food?
To be sure. So I said, what's in the tasting? And then he says to me, to know if it will fade or not.
Okay.
How do you rub saliva on a product? Just to be sure, you know. So when people were not ready, people didn't know that there can be safe transactions, online transactions. Even up till recently, I just realized now that I never hold cash. You know, I never hold cash now. Right now, if you check my bag, I don't have naira. You know, but to just 2015 here, everybody wanted to do a cash transaction. So that's what I mean when I say that maybe you have a solution, but the people are not ready for it. We were losing sales. We had to create other means of transacting. We had to encourage pay on delivery, just so to be able to build trust. But right now, people buy from us that we've never seen before. People buy from us from other countries without asking to taste the product first. So
but it's funny, how can someone be tasting a wristwatch?
You see the need, you identify the need, you prefer the solution, you identify the market, then you strategize how to launch in.
Yeah, Linda, we will be back after the break.
Thank you.
Please stay tuned. You're welcome back. We are still on with Linda Kpum. Linda,
yes, ma'am.
You were talking about the trust issue.
Yes.
Would you want to continue with it?
With the advent of online marketing, you see a lot of vendors on social media and people complaining that either they were defrauded of their monies or products were not given to them like they ordered. And they are very right not to trust people. But what that does to people who are honestly into business is it makes them go the extra mile to prove to the customer or to earn their trust.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this will, I don't know how it happens in developed countries, in other Western countries. Crime is the same everywhere.
Crime
right?
is crime.
It's not peculiar to Nigeria, but I believe that with time, business owners will be able to put in measures where they can earn more trust.
Okay, now, with the rate of rising unemployment in the country, you know, a lot of our youth are on the street, no work. They will do this trial and error that we've been talking about, you know. Do you know, or is there any special and sustainable business startup funding for youths, empowerment from the government to keep the youths actively involved in business activities? At least, do you know of any? Because you've been in business for some time now, and you know, on this program actually, everything we are discussing here is to encourage people of this generation. And who are the most active of this generation? They are the youths.
True.
They are the youth, and they are the ones who are doing tech businesses.
Right.
They are the ones who want to do some other business. There are some other things actually they've not even ventured into. So we want to know.
Ideas.
Yes.
Okay.
No, not ideas. Now, whether there is funding from government, startup funding to empower the youth.
Okay, so I follow some of these. I follow what the government does. I try to follow and see how their contribution is. Before this dispensation, I'm not a government official, so I can't speak on behalf of government. But before this dispensation, I know of 2-3 past dispensations who have always, let's be fair to them, spoken and created initiatives where small business owners can thrive, get small funding. I heard things about UWIN. I heard a while back. There are so many of those names.
Are they sustainable?
There are so many of those names. We'll talk about sustainability. There are so many of those names like that. Currently in this regime, I know as well that if they go to the official government website, there's a government website. If you go there, I was trying to look for the name, but before the show is over, I'll get it. If they go there, you'll find where people who are artisans can train. I've posted it before on my Facebook page. People who are artisans can train. People who have a craft already can come and then get empowered to either start a business with their craft or teach other people the craft. Then there's also a website, this dispensation, I saw it. I even went to the websites to take a look. There's also the one that gives seed funding to startups, which is those tech companies at a particular stage of their idea. Okay, so I believe that every government is doing one thing or another. It's just for you to look out and see, pay attention. Some people are discouraged and feel like, oh, it's by connection, it's by this and it's by that. But I am a testimony, I won't lie. A couple of years back, there was this government initiative where I applied like everyone else. Almost everything in my life, I've always applied like everyone else. I didn't have to knock doors because I like to give it a trial. If they say it's open to the public, why can't I'm the public? Why can't I apply like everyone else? If I don't get it, that's fine, but there's no harm in trying. So I applied like everyone else, and I was called for the test run, and we were giving monies and all of that. Do you understand? So I will encourage the youth to do the same, or not just the youth, because some have age gaps, age grades, you know, age where they can apply, but some don't have. They just say women. Is a flat criteria, and then others say between the ages of so and so. So just be on the lookout. Even if you feel like, oh, it's by connection, apply. You never know, you might be successful. So to answer your question, yes, the government does those things. I know about SMEDAN, I know about NISAL, I know about Bank of Industry. So it depends on your idea. And then you don't bring something and ask for assistance and package it in a wishy-washy manner. You have an idea. If you're going to present it to them as an idea, then put the idea together nicely in a way that someone will understand, in a business plan, in a proposal. If you already have started the business, get your papers right, register even if it's only a business name, incorporate it if you can, set up a proper structure, so when they see it, they know that you're trying to build a business, and you're not doing the thing you and I have called trial and error, because nobody wants to support someone who's not sure of what they want to do, who does not believe in what they want to do, who cannot express, or I won't be able to express what I want to do to you if you don't understand it. How can you support me? I don't know if I answered your question. Then on the issue of sustainability, I have a small issue with that one, because as I mentioned, dispensations, that dispensation comes and it goes. One time they were giving people keke napep and all of that, and then suddenly that era went, and we could not, there was no continuity, like everything else in Nigeria, no continuity. So another tenure comes, or another government comes in and scraps the entire thing, and then starts their own to get the credit, or for whatever reason, and then continuity is not there. So to say whether these things are sustainable, I do not know. But for the people who grab the opportunity when it's available and make good use of it, it helps them to grow their businesses.
Yeah, like right now, a lot of our graduates are even doing Okada.
And Bolt
is even giving a lot of leverage to a lot of our youths, I've joined the Bolt several times, entered their vehicles, and I could say 80% are graduates. I even see young girls, young ladies, let me not put a girl because they are adults, young ladies, 20s, just graduated from schools, and are doing Bolt. Some are even looking, I know that some guys you know, are contacting me, talk to so person for me to get me a vehicle. I just want to do both. There's no job now.
And then sorry to cut you. You know, you were asking me what other kinds of businesses
yes,
they can do.
No, I know. I'll come to that. I'll come to that. You know, so they are doing those kind of things. You know, you discussed about all the things, the incentives they giving some people, Okada, I mean keke, loans, that you are also a beneficiary, isn't it? Now, I understand. Oh my goodness. There are some people, they've collected this thing. Some are loan, some are, there is a name they call grants. Okay, some are supposed to be payable at a long gap, but I can assure you, some will take it, change their bank number, the bank account numbers, or change the bank until we have a NIN now. Then others will take it as in, I've taken my own. This is my share of government loot, the national cake, you know. So how do we move forward from here? Frankly, because I know I am not talking for government, neither am I talking for but I am an advocate of everybody get something doing, get something doing, you know. So now, how do we do with this? What do we do rather with these people who have this mindset of is the national cake? We need to have it, and it must be a white collar job. What do we do with those kind of people? What kind of advocacy? White collar job. If they don't have a white collar job, there is nothing for them. As long as they are concerned, as far as they are concerned, it has to be a white collar job or nothing. Even if you offer them whatever amount of money, they wouldn't do anything with it, except they get a job with the federal ministry, state ministries, to sit down in an office and say that, you know, they are in an office, they are working from an office. You know, this kind of people, what do we say to them now, so that they will come to know that, at least, because I know there are so many advocacy going on, maybe it's not reaching there, especially in the interior parts of the villages. What kind of advocacy? Because I know you do advocacy too. What do we do? What can you do to be able to reach out to these people to understand that you can be an employer?
Okay, so I think this is a mindset thing. I was discussing with a friend the other day. She was complaining about her staff. So, and I've been there a couple of times to talk to them, you know, and check their performance and rate it and all of that. And then I explained to her, you don't have to be upset with people who have decided to wait for the cake. You know, there are people who want to go out there and get it. There are people who want to create it. There are people who want to bake it. There are people who want to go bake it and share with others. But some just have a salary mentality. That's why they cannot do anything else. They have a salary mentality. They think that it's too hard to go conceive an idea. But look at you, a whole human with so much wisdom and intellect that God created. If you task that head, you don't know what's going to come out of it. So, but some people feel it's too hard. Some feel, oh, there's no capital. You haven't even thought of the idea. If you think of the idea and flesh it out, you realize that some ideas don't even need that much capital as you're thinking, or they might need no capital at all. It depends. Or how can I do this without capital? So for instance, the business that I run, we don't have a warehouse. We have a warehouse for certain items, not all the things. We do not stockpile products in one place. We have cut down the cost of office. We have cut down the cost of staffing. We have cut down the cost of logistics. So if I was thinking, where will I get logistics people? Where will I get this? Where will I get that? I'll still be thinking. I'll still be in 2015. But today we're in 2024 and the business has gone 9 years ahead. Why? Because we leveraged on third-party logistics. We leveraged on other people who do warehousing. We leveraged on other multi-vendor products. So people should think.
Yeah.
People should want more. You can't instill a desire to want more into someone. You can only show them that this is good for you. You can have this. You can have much more than this. You know, so it's just to inspire them or talk to them more. You're talking about people in the villages. Talk to them more about the things they can, the possibilities that are, and see if they will buy into it.
Well,
I don't know if I answered
this should be an advocacy job, and I think people in that class, when they are hearing us, they will be able to take it up and know how to reach out to all these people, because like you said, it's a mindset thing.
Yes,
and most of the time we can do nothing about it except they are being tutored and taught how to go about it. You know, we are not from the background of business, most of the people in Nigeria, but there are some parts of the country that no matter how much they went to school, they have to go back to business. So now, as an experience,
and another thing, not everybody will be a business owner, but everybody is selling something.
Everybody is selling something, right? Like I said before, I said it's like everyone is selling something. You are selling, I am selling, either everybody is selling a product or something,
or yourself,
or services. Yes, we are rendering services here. You know, as an experienced business owner, what will you say are the peculiar challenges and the risk involved doing business in Nigeria?
Oh, it's a lot. The risk is, the higher the business, the bigger the risk. The bigger the business, the bigger the risk. There's the challenge of funding. Let's not leave it behind, because sometimes people have a good structure, a good business, they are looking for expansion, it does not work. There's the challenge of using third-party services. So your business, for instance, you create products to sell, but you need marketers, you need logistics people, and you don't own those businesses. So no matter how perfect you want to be, you rely on those services, which maybe the companies are not, they don't have strong company values to deliver your product to the latter the way you will want it to go. That's a challenge, and it might give you a dent on your own business. So if you rely on third-party services, it's also a challenge. Then even government, the taxes have been increased now. If you look at the way the economy is, if you're being taxed, except you factor in those taxes into your product sales or your service sale. So if you factor in the taxes, make sure that you're also remitting. Now, pricing. If you price a product and add taxes, will you be able to make profit out of that same product? These are some of the small challenges. I'm talking based on what I do, right? So for bigger businesses, I'm sure they have bigger challenges. Based on what I do, these are some of the challenges. Then they also have people who look at scammers. Scammers are out there, trust issues, and so on.
So you said a lot about the risk factors and challenges. Yes. With all that you have said, you've not said all of them.
No, it's not.
I'm very sure.
And it's peculiar to each business.
It's peculiar to businesses. Yes. But there are peculiar ones to every business. You know. So what do you think business owners should do to continue to stay in business and still make profit and earn legitimately, regardless of what you have said?
Okay, I will advise cross-selling if you're into a product or even a service. So if your challenge, for instance, is making profit or even sales, cross-selling helps. So let's say I own a hair salon. I'll use the salon again. And then I know that I can also sell nail polish. And I can also sell the hair that people come and buy. And I can sell shampoo, you know. And I can also offer home service. You see, so if people don't do their hair because they were not able to come to the salon, you can go to the house to do it. If somebody's not coming to do their hair, they can buy the nail polish. If you incorporate another service, it will be the same. Let me use like some pharmacists I see now. That thing makes me laugh all the time. You see a signboard, it says pharmacy. You go in and you see palm oil, you see granite oil, you see yogurt, you know,
cosmetics,
and so on. So they are making the most with what they have. Okay, they know that these customers coming in also eat.
Okay.
So they also eat. So it will be easy to have a small change and then buy plantain chips, or you bought drugs, someone is ill, and then you quickly pick up a drink or something. So cross-selling will help. I also encourage networking. You network with each other as entrepreneurs. Let's say I have a pop-up show to sell a dire somewhere, and then we also have that bakery, and somebody else has a zobo to sell. You know, if we network, where I went for the pop-up, I can keep your zobo and also keep something else. So that will help us to sell better. That's at a small scale. So I'm not talking about the bigger businesses.
The bigger businesses, what do they do to keep up with the business?
Well, I do not like the Dangote levels there. I do not know.
We'll get there.
I'm just a small business owner.
We'll get there.
Yes,
and again, the challenges, like I said, you know, I asked you, what will you do? You know, but I noticed sometimes it's viral, it goes viral. These people, sometimes they put CCTV in their, sometimes poultry. I saw one. You know, people who enters the poultry, they will have some bigger pockets. You know, outside scammers on the nets. We have those. You know, a lot of Nigerian businesses are physical. You know, they are physical. They like the poultry, the bakery, the furniture. They are physical. There are places where things can get missing actually. And I've seen where they take their chicken, they steal their eggs, they steal. In fact, some people go to work to actually, you know, do things like that. They go to. I heard of a story of a lady that worked in a supermarket, a big supermarket here in Abuja. Yes, in Abuja, and she comes home every day with 50K. With what? 50,000 naira. As far back as
what does the business owner take home?
Thank you. As far back as about 7-8 years ago, I heard the story, and the lady was living big, and eventually the business, or perhaps all of them, salesperson there, were involved in doing such things, and eventually the business owner started going down until the man could not do much again. I think he left Abuja or something like that. A pathetic story. And that happens to a lot of business owners.
True.
So now, what should be done in such cases?
Okay. Yeah. So for this one, as a business owner, it is not about just setting up the business. You know, it's called building a business. That means it's brick by brick by brick. Sometimes the edges are rough. Sometimes you need to remove the entire block. You set it up again. Sometimes you go down and then you come back up again. You are building. So after setup, and if you have a physical business where you are employing staff, you need someone to manage the staff. That's one. Then secondly, on the issue of stealing, pilfering, either cash or product, you put security in place. It's not enough to have CCTV.
Exactly.
CCTV does not talk.
Because they even monitor it. They know how to
manipulate it. They're still the same
CCTV,
people.
Yeah.
I always advise people to also have physical security that will not compromise. That means as you are leaving the building, you're being checked. It is part of the rules of the company. It is not to call you a thief. It is just to keep things in check. If you're running an organization where they can put things in the pocket, for instance. Why can't you make the uniform pocketless? For instance, why do you allow the girls coming with their handbags? Let them have a locker room and keep those things before they come in, because they are movable products and cash. So you save, you mitigate what is going to happen before it even happens. And then you can't do it 100%, because there are some people who will still devise other means. But as those means are being devised, you also look for ways to, you keep changing, look for ways to make sure that you are not losing.
Okay, like we've talked about the risk factor and the challenges, some of them. There is a part of government, the taxes and other government policies, you know, how does it affect incoming and existing business owners?
Okay, from my experience, most of the things they mention to me as challenges besides funding will be even those registrations. These are very simple things that you can make easy for small business owners. There are many things you need to register besides getting a business, whether you want a business name or an incorporated company. There are many things you need to do. There's that EFCC registration for SCUMO, because you're going to open a bank account, right? There's the FIRS, there's the CAC. For some, depends on your business, there's NSITF. For some of us that do exports, there's the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. There's so many. If you have a number of staff, there's that NSITF registration. There's also the ITF registration. So there's so many things, and you go from one point of one office to the other. For me, I've said it many times, maybe casually, if I were government, what I will do is concentrate those offices in one place and call this place like a business hub or a center, where if a business owner walks in, the person who signs for the EFCC is there, the one who signs for NSITF is there, just in one office. I don't know, does it make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Just in one office. Number one, it cuts the time and the running around they need to do to be able to get that registration done. I was also complaining about the cost of registering, but I realized that at some point they do promos and give the business name registrations a bit cheaper.
Anyway, like we all know, you are a business owner, and at what point did you decide to venture into business, and what was the driving force, you know, and from then till now, would you say you are progressing in it or seeing a huge positive difference in business?
Okay, so looking back, I think that I've been selling since before I became a teenager.
Wow.
But I didn't know that until in 2015. I didn't know that all the snacks I was making in my house as a baby and tasking my siblings to buy and my mother to buy, I didn't know it was that thing inside me. Everywhere I've ever worked in the past 19 years or 20 now, everywhere I ever worked, like paid employment, I had something to sell. I was the go-to person. If you need cow, it's Linda. If you need gold, it's Linda. If you need land, if you need clothes, it was me. And something was driving me. For me, I thought that I needed extra income. Extra income to live where I wanted to live. Extra income to be able to do some of the things I wanted to do, you know. But I also realized that I was enjoying serving them.
Yeah.
So I was happy if anyone came to me and said they needed XYZ. Even now, things we do not sell, I have a couple of people who reach out to me and say, Linda, we need, sometimes I'm shocked at the things they need, but I'm happy that they feel if they come to me, I'll be able to provide it. So I do this with utmost joy. To say success, I do not think that I am successful, but I think that I am on the right path. I've been able to impart knowledge into other people. I see somebody's business and I know that this is wrong. If you do it this way, it will be better. Not because I went to school professionally for that, but based on experience. Because I've been through that part, I know that if you do it this way, it will be better than the way you're doing it. So for me, that is success. For me, I'm able to say to someone, set this up. I'm able to give someone a proper feasibility of their business. I'm able to talk to them about how to manage their company and staff, and how to rate performance, how to improve on product, how to market. All these are parts of building, I like to use that word, are parts of building a business. And there's no particular part you ask me of that I do not know. Wow. Even funding. So each of that I learned on this journey. Do I have loads of cash in my bank account? No, ma'am. I'm even in debt. but am I able to do these things? Yes, I am able to do them and help other people, and I believe that eventually I'll have loads of cash.
Taking on that cash thing,
yes, ma'am.
You know, given the business environment of Nigeria, and you've done a lot, you are happy doing it. Right. You know, I love it when you do something that you are passionate doing. You know, yes, it is good you are passionate about your business, and people are happy you're giving the services to them, and what they get is making them happy.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, are you progressing financially? You should make profits. I'm not saying you should be Dangote or something now. Are you progressing? Like you say, okay, yes, I am moving. The movement is steady. It's not very fast, but it's steady, and I'm happy. I have cash. I could pay my bills and all those things. You know.
So I'll just tell you, progress and success is not cash.
Okay.
It's not cash. For me, it's not liquid cash. It is impact.
Okay.
What have you been able to do? Those things you can't even quantify in monetary terms. Some of those progresses and successes have kept me on tables I ordinarily wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So even if I had 100 million in my account, I won't sit on that table.
Okay.
It is the success that put me on that table. The progress and the success have taken me to countries where all expense paid. All expense paid. When I say all expense, I mean all of it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to pay a single dime. If I had to pay, it would be money. That is progress. Progress and success to me is when other organizations say, we see what you're doing, come and do this for us. That is success.
Well, most importantly, you are paying your bills.
Well, I
don't pay your bills, so that is all. Because in Nigerian context, when you are doing business, yes, progress, like you said,
and success,
but they now and success, they want to see physical and all those. That is how it is. But if the structures are there and you are seeing them and they are steadily growing, you are making success.
So I, as an individual, I don't even rate people based on the material or the money that I see.
Well, that is the Nigeria we live in. People do that. You and I may not do it, but people do that.
I never do. I never do.
But somehow you are successful in your business and it's steadily moving up. So that is all. And we've talked about challenges, some challenges earlier. You know, what are the sure business opportunities now this generation should embrace?
They should take advantage of IT and the internet. With the internet, you are able to sell to anything, to anyone, anywhere in the world. So take advantage of it. Don't say, oh, I don't like to be online. Please be online, because maybe your next big paycheck is there. Whatever it is that you have here. People sit in their rooms, in their robes, and sell millions of dollars of products in their robes, in their bathrooms to
Exactly.
people across the world. So that is a huge opportunity. Whether it's a book that you have, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's working remotely, there's always something. There's something you can sell out there to people.
Okay, for the benefit of those who want to start up a business in Nigeria,
Yes, ma'am.
especially the youth, what are your top 5, at least 5, profitable business you will actually suggest to them? You said, you just talked about internet, tech. So you've removed one. The remaining 4, what would that be?
Food.
Okay.
Considering the economy, anything that is consumed, anyhow you want to process it, food will always sell.
Okay, and what would be your advice for the upcoming and existing business owners in Nigeria?
Stay resilient, keep learning, and network.
Wow. Linda, it's good having you in the studio
Thank you,
with
ma'am.
me. Thank you so much. I know you do online trading.
It's an
and,
e-commerce product retail business.
And so on. So I wish you all the best in your business.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, compliments of the season.
Same to you.
Well, this is the much we can take on this week's episode of Generations Gist with Joy. But before we go, don't forget to always be a part of this show by following us on all our social media platforms. Please send an email to generationsgistwithjoy@gmail.com for further inquiries and sponsorship details. Until I come your way same time next week, remember that your generation is your identity. Let us continue to be our brothers' keepers. Remain a patriotic Nigeria. I am Joy Onu. See you next week.